Hi guys, welcome to the CATWay. So in this video, we are going to solve our daily set. And before we begin, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Now moving on to the set, what do we have? The table given below shows the production figures in 1000 tons of various types of crops produced in a country called Kyrgyzstan for 3 years. Okay, so here it has been given the production of different crops in the country in 1000 tons. Okay, it also shows the percentage contribution of Chariana, one of the state in Kyrgyzstan, to the total production of Kyrgyzstan for each year. Okay. So let's say if you talk about 1991, total production in Kyrgyzstan of wheat was 1500, 1500 in 2000. We will ignore these figures. Okay, they are of no use to us. Is 1500 tons. Out of that, 20% was from Chariana. Okay. So the first thing, guys, that we are going to do is that we are going to write down the absolute values of Chariana. Okay. So for wheat, out of 1500, 20% is produced in Chariana. So that means 300. Out of 15 or 2000, 15% is 3000 again. Out of 500, 25%, that is 125. Okay. Then out of 400, 20%, that is 80. Then you have out of 1200 10%, that is 120. Okay, similarly for 1992, out of 1800 25% means 450. 2200 ka 20% means 440. Then you have 15% of 600, that would be 90. 300 ka 15% is 45. 1400 ka 10% is 140. Okay, and then you have 2000 ka 25%, that is 500. 2400 ka 20%, that is 480. Then you have 800 ka 15%, that would be equal to 120. Okay, then you have 500 ka 20%, that is 100. And then you have 1000 ka 10%, that is 100. Okay, now the solving of the question becomes easier for you. Now the first question is, in which year was the percentage contribution of Chariana to total production of Kyrgyzstan, all crops including, is maximum during the period? Okay, now from Chariana in 1991, the total contribution was 300 plus 300, 600, 600 plus 125, 725, 725 plus 80 would take you to 805, and 120 more will take you to 925. So 925 production came from Chariana out of 5600 of total. Okay, so the percentage contribution was 16.52%. Okay, similarly, when you talk about 1992, the total production from Chariana is 1165 tons and total from Kyrgyzstan is 6300 tons, right? So here the percentage value will be equal to 18.49. Okay, and then in 1993 from Chariana it is 1300, whereas the total production is 6700. So this one is equal to 19.40. Okay, so the maximum contribution from Chariana was in 1993, that is 19.4% contribution. Option number C will be the right answer. Question number 2, which crop showed a decline in production for 2 consecutive years in Chariana during 91 to 93? Okay, so you have been given 3 options: bajra, maize and rice. If any one of them shows a decline for 2 consecutive years, that will be the answer, otherwise none of these. Okay, so if you talk about bajra, so from 125 it went to 90, but then it increased, so there is not a decline for 2 consecutive years in bajra. Then you have maize. So in maize it went from 80 to 45, but then again went to 100. So again there is not a decline for 2 consecutive years. And then talk about rice. So rice increased and then again increased. So there is no decline in rice for 2 consecutive years. Hence the correct answer for this will be option number D, none of these. Then you have third question, which is, which crop showed a decline in production for at least 1 year in Chariana, despite showing an increase in production for 2 consecutive years in Kyrgyzstan during the period? So first we have to calculate that in Kyrgyzstan, which crop showed the increase in production for 2 consecutive years. Okay, so one of them is wheat, because there is an increase and then again there is an increase from 1500 it goes to 1800 to 2000. For rice there is also an increase. If you talk about bajra also it increased for both consecutive years. For maize, if you talk about, maize did not increase for 2 consecutive years, because from 400 it went to 300, so there was a decline once. And for others, again from 1400 they go to 1000, so others is also not there in the picture. So between these 3 crops we have to find our answer. Okay, all these 3 have shown an increase in production for 2 consecutive years in Kyrgyzstan. Now we have to find that between these 3, which one crop showed a decline in any of the year. Okay, so if you talk about wheat went from 300 to 450 to 500. So there is only an increase in wheat. There is no decrease. For rice, we have went from 300 to 440 to 480. So rice also did not have a decrease. Now bajra went from 125 to 90. So there was a decrease in at least 1 year. That means, and in spite of having an increase in Kyrgyzstan for both the years, so the correct answer for this question is option number C, that is bajra. Okay. So now this set is done, and hope you have understood the set well, guys. Thanks for watching the video.